last week on the Nicoletti Show.
Without further ado, let's welcome her to the show, Andrea Stakes.
There was an opportunity for me to pivot. So I started Integra Virtual Staffing, which is my virtual assistant company, and it was built around my strengths. It wasn't built around all the YouTube university videos I watched about wholesaling. It was around what I loved, what I found through real estate that I loved. I could help investors find the best talent to bring onto their teams. I could help my team and be a leader to them and show them that they can communicate with homeowners, and it's not just reading a script.
I'm glad you talked about that.
When you're going into real estate, there's not just a one way to get into real estate and be successful. There are over 80 ways to make money in this industry.
It's amazing. When you get into this world, you see all these other opportunities.
We really kind of said, you know what, we're gonna bring the spark back. And that spark was just being able to have innovation and, stay true to the vision to keep on globally impacting people. Sometimes your talent is right in front of you and they've been working and showing you they're the right hire every single day.
Personality types, that's everything, right? Can you imagine if you had another Andrea with you right now? I mean, it's like you have one skill set and the other person needs to have another skill set to be able to level up.
As entrepreneurs, we want to be able to delegate and elevate. We can bring on team members in our business and help us take off those tasks on our plate so we can focus on bigger and better things. We can focus on the $1 million task by delegating the dollar per hour task.
What's been going on with AI in this world?
AI is going to be a great assistant to the assistants. AI backed by that human touch is going to be able to definitely increase productivity within VAs, but they're not going to replace your VA. Don't let your fear of failure overcome your desire for success.
I think people could take so much from that.
Thank you, Al, for everything. Thank you so much.
Of course. We'll see you soon. It feels like forever ago since Andrea Stakes was on the Nicoletti Show. And what an episode. Andrea has totally transformed her business in the last year and a half. And what she's done to be able to now take it more virtually all over the globe with the VA system, and what she's done personally and professionally is very impressive. If you missed any of that with Andrea, you got to go back, watch that episode. I love seeing the recaps, and I gotta say, I am so happy that we are back. I mean, we were out after Andrea's episode. We were out for Memorial Day break, and then we came back with the best of last week. And I just want to say, we're here for the summer. I'm excited for the slate that we have coming out in the next coming weeks. You don't want to miss it. And if you want more content like tonight, make sure you go back and you check out the YouTube channel under Al Nicoletti, the Facebook business page, and the personal page. Of course, check out the link tree right there. If you scan the QR code, you will find the YouTube, Facebook, Spotify. Somebody was at an event the other day. They were like, where can we find all your stuff? I was like, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Audible, Instagram, all these sites. It's crazy. You don't want to miss it. And of course, all the micro content constantly dropping on Instagram, on probate, partitions, quiet titles. It's crazy. I love it. The fans are here. Teresa, I know. It's crazy. It was a great break, and now we're going to roll into the summer season. So it's going to be great. And she said she was having withdrawal symptoms. I'm ready to dive in, and we are going to have a jam-packed episode with Andrew and Michelle Lucas talking about rehabbing houses and the good, the bad, the ugly, what it's like getting into that, and running a community, what that's been like. So I'm here. I'm ready to rock and roll. So let's do this thing. Hey, everybody. My name is Al Nicoletti. I'm an attorney here in Florida, and welcome to the Al Nicoletti Show, where I bring on real estate super investors, rising rock stars, movers and shakers, and leaders of clubs in their communities that educate, entertain, and inspire all things on Florida real estate, and bringing the best in the business all over the country to help provide the most value to our communities, whether it's local or around the country, or maybe even international, on how we can take our companies to the next level. I am ready for my opening thoughts tonight. I haven't done these in a couple weeks. And, when you are constantly in your business, when you're in your business, not out on top of your business, when you're in your business and you're grinding with your team every single day, your brain starts to morph even more on How do you keep changing procedures and things within your business to help accelerate it so that you can step out of your business a little bit more? And one thing that I've seen, and I talked about it at Andrew and Michelle's event in South Carolina, is the importance of building checklists. To be successful and to scale at a high volume, having checklists will help you better qualify sellers, clients, other people that you work with. Maybe it's projects that you're working on whether you want to take that on. When you put a checklist together, you qualify. In my business with probates, we've implemented a probate checklist. I don't know, maybe it was like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I mean, hardcore. And by doing that, it has transformed my business because now we're sifting out the quality and the quality leads that come in because now we can help scale that side. So very important that if you are doing this as an entrepreneur, you have your own business, build yourself checklists, itemize it, put it together, give it to the team, show the acquisition team, show your team, be able to explain what the meaning of that is and why. Why do we even use that? I can tell you a whole thing for 10, 15 minutes, but there you have it. Build yourself a checklist, and I think it'll be successful for you. So without further ado, I can't wait to bring on the duo that's crushing it in the South Carolina market, in Columbia, and all over South Carolina. And we're going to bring them on talking all about rehabs and their story and how they've been able to put a community together, because it's so important that we have guests like this on the show. So without further ado, and we'll talk about how we met. Without further ado, let's welcome them to the show. Michelle, Andrew, love seeing you guys again.
Yes! We are so excited to be here, Al.
I can see it. I love it. Michelle's got the energy. Andrew's just ready to like spit fire and
let's go. Let's go.
Talk all about rehabs and how everybody's got to get into it. I got to say, what you guys are doing in South Carolina is amazing. I was so honored and happy to be invited to your event and to be able to speak there. A lot of people came out, new people, some seasoned people, and we'll talk about the community aspect. But I just want to say, I love what you guys are doing, and you two are amazing people, amazing heart, helping everybody. And I'm just so happy we got to meet, but I'm going to let Michelle talk about that. Cause it's one of my favorite stories about how I got to meet the Lucases. Like, this wasn't just, hey, they're a part of Family Mastermind. No, this is, I get off the elevator on the 14th floor and there's Michelle. So I'll let her tell that story. But guys, love having you. Welcome.
Thanks, Al. This is great. You love your energy. We are excited to be here and to share because that's what we do. And where were we last week, maybe a week before, and you were up here and you brought a great crowd. And so hopefully we could share with your people right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Michelle, you want to tell that story real quick? Because how they actually met me is hilarious. Go for it.
Go for it.
All right, I'll give the quick version.
Wait, I got to preface because people think that I'm like an absentee husband in this story. So we're at Family Mastermind. We're there with hundreds of people we know, people we don't know. I'm going and playing poker with some great real estate investors and coaches, people we know, and friends. And it's like 11 o'clock at night and I'm deep into a poker game. I'm pretty excited. And Michelle.
Yes. So while Andrew was networking, somehow, I still can't remember how, I locked myself out of my room in my nightgown. And because we were at this family mastermind, I was mortified thinking, oh my word, somebody's going to see me in my nightgown. And so I went down several different hallways looking for the hall phones. None of the stupid hall phones would work. None of them. And so then I go to the stairs and I look down at the front desk thinking I'll sneak down there and ask for an additional key. Well, there must have been 50 people down there. And I was like, I can't go down there in my nightgown. And so then I go running up the stairs a couple more floors, and then the elevator opens and Al Nicoletti gets off the elevator. And
So
I was
random.
like, hi, I'm in my nightgown and I'm locked out of my room. Could you please call my husband for me?
And I had no idea who she was. Like, no idea. Like, who am I about to call? Like, here's my cell phone. Go for it.
And you were just the most wonderful gentleman. And that was just the most interesting night. I don't know that anyone could ever have a story like you and I have, Al.
Yeah. It's crazy. And I love Andrew's side of it too. It's like he was playing poker with Steve playing and like everybody, and he was like, I can't get off this hand. Like, no way.
You're playing against
networking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Incredible guys. I was like,
crazy. I love it. It's one of my favorite stories, Michelle. Let me ask you guys this. I always ask 2 questions at the beginning of my show. And you could do a 1 minute on it, which is, what is the biggest lesson that you learned once you jumped into the real estate community or the real estate arena? Like the biggest aha moment you ended up having that just like made sense.
You want to go first?
You go.
Oh, I knew you were going to make me do that. So when we don't, going way back, we started back in like 2007, but when there was a lot of lessons along the way. I think the biggest lesson from there until where we are now, which was kind of the aha, was when we realized that holding rental property wasn't just for retirement, that you could actually live and make money and make cash flow today that could change our position in life now versus holding it for 30 years, letting tenants pay it off, and then retirement's going to be fun. That was the biggest transition, biggest aha moment, which changed our lives. And we decided we're going all in.
Yeah. You realize that there's more passive side to it than just, hey, this is retirement, right? We can actually make money and leave our jobs and leave anything that we're dependent on in our lives to make money and actually do this to make money. So that works, right? Michelle, same answer, right?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it truly was. We had a couple of rental houses, and we had named one for each kid, and then we were like, oh, but wait, we could actually have more. Now that we have 3, we could multiply, and so same answer.
It worked, yeah, right. I mean, it's working now, and it continues to work. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And what is something that you two do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, that helps you perform at the highest level mentally, that keeps you sharp, that keeps that mental acuity up all the time? I think I know where Andrew's going with this at Michelle, but like, what is something that you do all the time that just gets you in the right frame of mind?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I do is every day I have a meeting with our executive assistant, and we go through all of the properties. What?
That's not what he wants to know.
Oh, what does he want to know?
What do you do mentally? What do you do to prepare?
I like this answer though.
I work out.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Is that the answer you want to hear?
I was actually kind of enjoying that first answer.
You can go back to that one.
No, let's talk about that. So workout, right? Yeah. That's something that really helps you grind and get through the day, right?
Yeah, it wakes me up. Really.
Yeah.
And then
go back to your school answer.
Yeah, what's this other answer?
So every day I meet with our executive assistant, and we go through all of the properties. So I am responsible for our flips. So we go through every single flip, and she updates. It's a checklist for me, really. So we go through each one, and it's really to figure out, did I do what I was supposed to do yesterday in order to move forward today? Yeah. But that helps me stay on track and to know where I'm supposed to be. And then I have to answer to him.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
So like, how many of them are you going through like daily?
I have 8 right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's manageable. I could see that being manageable. Yeah.
Now there was a point last year where I think I had 23, and I was like, I can't do anymore. Cause I mean, it's 23 properties and talking about each thing that's currently happening and what needs to happen. And
You know, it's funny. I actually do that weekly. because I have like 150, 200 cases. So like I know what you mean by doing that. Like it helps reset where it's moving things forward, right? The idea of actually reviewing cases is moving the ball along. Otherwise, if you don't review it either daily or weekly, you're going to either miss something or be like, hey, we're behind on that project or we're behind on that task. Now we got to catch up big time, right? Yeah, huge. Well, tell everybody a little bit of the Lucas story, because like how you even got into this, like what was that like? Andrew, I know you got something about this.
I could take you all the way back. Let me, I do want to say one of the things that we do as a team to start our day every day is we have a good news and gratitude call. So every morning at 9, everybody on our team, retail agents, whoever it is, we get on the call and it's just 15 minutes. It's like, share something good in your life, good in your business, or something you're grateful for. And doesn't matter. There's plenty of times where I'm like, I don't feel like doing this, but it gets my mind right. It's like, well, there's something to be grateful for. Let me talk about it. Let me get it out so that's so our eyes can go up for the day to start the day. So the Lucas story started way back when we were young. No, I'm just kidding. 2007, I got my first property. I was in college. I thought landlords were the smartest people in the world. All of us college kids are just paying them every single month. And I said, you know what, one day maybe I could do that. And I had this entrepreneurial kind of bug growing up, and graduated college. I was managing a hotel and I didn't really know what was next. Moved in with my parents. That was terrible. Moved out, had to find a house. So I found a house. I found one, used an agent, made a lot of mistakes, had nobody to talk to, nobody to help me walk through it, nobody to run the numbers. Was lucky, found a really great mortgage broker that allowed me to buy that house and actually no money down, walked away with $350 in my pocket.
Wow.
And I was renting the room out to my roommate. So we were splitting the mortgage. And then 10 months later, I opened a new hotel in another town, and that became first rental. We were dating shortly, not long after we were married. I guess a year and a half later, we were married. And that kind of just got the ball rolling. It was like we said earlier, we thought these rental houses would be retirement. The hotel world really didn't have the best retirement programs for the places I was working. And so we were just picking up 1 or 2 houses. We had 4. We had 4 rental houses, 2 kids, and 1 on the way in 2016, 2015, 2016. And that's when that aha moment hit. That's when a realtor friend gave me a book. I think it's behind me somewhere called Hold, where it talks about actually making money today in real estate, in rental houses, and actually retiring from your day job, not waiting till the end of your day job to live off of this. And then 2016, we made a plan for Michelle to quit her job. She was supposed to leave her job in 2018. In 2018, she said, actually, I don't know as much about this as you do. So we had 35-ish rental houses. We had enough to live off to one person's salary. The rest was passive income. So I left in 2018. And then shortly after, she left as we started wholesaling.
Yeah.
And 2018 till now, we've been full-time real estate. We wholesale. We have a retail team. We fix and flip, and we hold rentals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you were doing a bunch of the rentals and now the rehabbing. I mean, there's totally different worlds, right? Like one being just that landlord versus actually being hands-on.
Right.
Like getting in the projects. Like I see the Instagram reels with Michelle. Like she's like walking in the house, like, oh my gosh, what's this? And I love it. I love seeing that. Let's talk about that actually, because I actually do want to get into that, which is the rehabbing of houses.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know I was at the IHOP at the Osceola event the other day. And one guy was like, he stood up and he said how like he's been doing stuff with the houses or construction stuff and he wants to learn how to rehab more. And I was like, oh, perfect. You got to tune into the episode because this is what they do. So what's like the best guide to rehabbing houses? The good, the bad, the ugly, any tips or tricks to getting into it? Like especially on the advanced side, right? Because there's people watching that have done 10 plus houses, maybe 20 plus houses, and it's not their first time. So we have those, and then we have new people that have never done it before. Walk us through it. Like give us this crash course on rehabbing.
So I think the first thing you have to do, Michelle's got some tips and tricks, but the first thing you have to do is connect with your community, connect with the local community, start making friends, network with real estate agents, appraisers, inspectors, wholesalers, other flippers, contractors. Find that local meetup. When we started, we didn't have that. And I know it held us back. I know because it took us 10 years to figure out you can make money in this business, right? I mean, we were held back for so long, but get connected today. And local, 100% is the best, but get in some of this stuff, like watch your show, watch other podcasts and YouTube channels, so that you can see what else is going on out there, but also get connected physically with your local market.
I think one of the things that we were able to learn quickly rehabbing was walking the property with a licensed contractor and an inspector, and really kind of understanding right at the beginning what you're dealing with. Like I can walk into a house and visualize walls being gone, and Andrew still doesn't know how I do that. I don't know how I do it. It just happens. But I can see walls gone, and I can see different features architecturally or whatever with a house. But you've got to walk a property with either a licensed contractor and or an inspector to kind of understand, like if you're going to have to spend $25,000 on redoing all the electrical, if you have to redo all the plumbing, if you've got major foundation issues, like you can think you can walk into a house and thinking, I'm going to do some paint and do some really cool things and features. But then when you realize that your budget is blown because of things that nobody will ever see, that is a hard thing to swallow.
Yes.
That seems like a unique ability, Michelle, to be able to just walk in the house and be able to say, this is down. We can get rid of this wall. This is going to be a great color here. Yeah. Look at the blinds. Look at the windows. We could do this with the windows and the chandelier. I love that reel too with the chandelier. So you're able to see that versus like, and that's what makes you a great partnership with Andrew, right? I mean, not even on the marriage side, but on like the work side, it's like Michelle's got one ability and Andrew sees things on a different side, or maybe running numbers, or we're dealing with the sellers or all that kind of stuff. And like you said, did you have to learn about bringing on a licensed contractor and a licensed inspector? Like, did you go through a couple deals where you're like, shoot, I wish I had done that, and now like you're like, no, we have to do that now?
I think because we started when we were doing the rental houses, we were handy. We learned from our parents, both of our dads, handy guys around the house. We did a lot of this stuff on our own. And so we were pretty well versed in what needed to happen in the houses. But then what really, I think, kicked it over for us was when it was time to sell and we were getting those inspections back, and we're like, oh man, we didn't really think about that, you know? And so I would say, we had to learn it.
Not bad stuff.
Yeah, but it's just stuff that you know, when you do a whole house, if you didn't do that inspection in the beginning, or if it didn't need, the plumbing and the electrical and the HVAC, and it's kind of a cosmetic flip, well, we could do all that, but we might miss some of those things. And so that was what was happening. And not that it was bad, not that we lost the deal for it, but it's kind of like when you get that inspection after you finish the flip and you're trying to sell it, and then this guy comes and tears your house apart. I mean, it kind of hurts your heart a little bit. Yeah. So I think that's what changed it. Kind of put that for us. It's like, all right, we're doing this every time. Let's really get it looked at first.
Yeah, no, I think, hey, that's great. It's a great tip right there, right? Maybe some people don't even know that. Maybe on the beginner side, they don't know that. But Andrew, connecting with the community, that's one of the big steps to a guide to rehabbing houses, right? And you all have a group. you all have that community, and you all are bringing on lenders. I think there were lenders at the meeting, private money lenders, realtors, other people, that wholesalers. I mean, just different parts of the community, bringing them together to leverage, right? Because like I think I talked about, like, one of the most important things you could do in probate is to build your team now, not after, right? So that you have the right people in place. So look, talk about that, leveraging that community aspect.
Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about Edwin?
Yeah. So, and I'll just preface by saying, we've been able to step back and see other people making connections, and really, Andrew takes the point of the very beginning of the meeting to say, meet somebody not at your table. Like, get up, you've got a couple of minutes to go meet somebody, get some phone numbers, know why you're here. And we've been able to see other people making connections and figuring out, like, a missing piece of their business of somebody that they needed to meet, and been able to make that connection. So that's been cool. We had a contractors panel, I guess about a year ago. And out of that, I was able to work with another contractor besides the couple that I'd already had relationships with, but, was like, you're a contractor, I've got a fun project. If you want to take it on. And he was like, yeah. And so it's been a cool experience just to be able to work with another contractor and, learn some of his strengths that maybe some of the other contractors aren't as good at. So
yeah, and we've partnered with deals on people. They might have the deal but no money, or they might be a contractor with money and no deal, whatever. It takes all those things to come together. So we've made partnerships. We've seen other people partner in the community where you come together, and you don't have to learn this game on your own. Real estate is one of those fascinating industries where if you ask the question, somebody's probably going to help you and answer your question. Not only help you answer the question, but probably say, come on and check this out. I'll show you a real world example. I'm doing one down the street.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like next Wednesday, we're doing that here locally. Is we're going into one of our rehabs that we're doing with a deal partner and open up the books. Right. We show the budget, the plans. Hopefully sheetrock will be up, cross my fingers, knock on wood, sheetrock will be up. And that's, that's what our community does. And that's what the community can do for you as you get started. Anyone.
Absolutely. I mean, the most important thing you can do getting started, or even continuing in your business, maybe you're pivoting, is truly leveraging the relationships and the community that you're in, because everybody's doing something different. I mean, everybody's doing something completely different. No, very few are doing the same thing. Some really want to focus in different areas, right? When you say investor, not every investor is doing the same thing.
That's right.
Not every contractor is doing the same thing.
Right.
Not every realtor. Some realtors want to focus on the flips. Some want to focus on the luxury. So leverage that community aspect. I think that's super important. And let's keep rolling with that, right? So what have been some things at the houses? Actually, wait, before I get there, somebody asked some great questions. Brittany said, any tips for identifying walls that can come down?
Load bearing.
Well, yes. So load bearing. And so the load bearing, and this might be technical for YouTube or whatever, but basically, if you look at your roof rafters, if the roof rafters are going the same direction as the wall, so rafters are going this way, walls going that way, generally you can take that down and speak to a contractor first. But you're just looking
you would see that by going in the attic.
Right. Yeah. So. And so you're looking, obviously you're looking at what would be load bearing and what wouldn't be load bearing. But so can I say this? I can say it because we built it back. That first house in 2007, I owned it, right? I'm allowed to tear down the walls, but technically you're not really supposed to tear down walls like that. So we made mistakes and we had to build the wall back because I was like, that's not supposed to come down.
Yeah. But, and also to say, you can still, even if it's load bearing, you can still take it down, but you have to put up a header, that giant piece of wood that spans the entire width of the space.
Yeah.
And for that, you need an architectural engineer.
You know what? So let me answer that for you, Al and Brittany, that I think about, hey, this wall, it can't come down. It's low bearing. Don't worry. Michelle doesn't care. Like they all can come down, Brittany. It doesn't matter.
It's just money.
It's just money, and you can put a beam up. So the answer is, it doesn't matter. They all can come down.
Yeah.
I have a pink sledgehammer.
I just see Michelle like barreling into that house, like knocking everything down with a hammer. Yeah,
that's what she does. That's what she does.
Yeah. And then Andrew's like, "We can't do that, honey. We can't do that."
Why not?
Watch me.
She does. Cassie asks, "Any plans for reality TV?"
This is it right here, baby.
This is it.
Oh yeah. If reality TV comes knocking, they're gonna have to find a way to fit in our schedule with 3 kids, all the stuff we're doing. If they can fit in, we'll do it.
Super mom and super dad. Yeah. And then we got Frank. Frank's watching. I love it. Frank, how you doing, man? I love seeing it. Let's talk about anything for open floor plans.
Just take out the walls, right?
What?
I mean, well, you don't like. Let me step back. You don't like it too.
I don't. Well, so I don't like a totally open floor plan.
Like a ranch.
I don't like boxy, but I do like a few walls. Like, you need a little privacy. I'm an introvert, believe it or not. So I like having some quiet space, but I also go into a house. I'll give you an example. We had this cute little 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath house. And we walked in the door and Andrew's like talking about different things. And I was like, no, that wall's coming out. And he was like, what? And so I look at it from a perspective often of, if I'm a mom in the kitchen and my kids are screaming at each other, I want to be able to see what's happening so that I can yell at them. And so I need a little bit of a wall down. So I don't love a totally open floor plan because I think sometimes that can be really hard spatially, like furniture and stuff. So I do like some walls.
Yeah. There's some models, construction homes in the Atlantic Beach area where it's over here in Jacksonville, where some of the homes, it's just totally open. I mean, there's rooms upstairs, but the bottom layer is completely wide open. It seems like that was like the thing. I don't know if it's still the thing, but that's what a lot of people like doing, is like making that whole bottom floor out.
Yeah.
Like when you get into rehabbing, and I don't know if this is a Michelle thing or Andrew, but like the materials, like the importance of finding like the right materials that's not going to be cheap enough so like it doesn't cheapen the look or lipstick on a pig style. But I can already tell like there must be a huge debate over this.
See that?
But materials that are just quality and that'll attract someone that wants to buy that more than cheaper materials.
So we have different levels of flips, if you will. So we have the higher level of flips, which I would say get the marble, for the bathrooms, whatever. I don't necessarily use marble in the kitchen. And then there are the other flips that may not get marble, but they're still going to get like a really nice, maybe some kind of decorative tile, something to that effect. And then there are other flips that are still very nice. But they're probably going to get like a tile from a big box store. We'll just say that. And that's not a knock on any of those, but it's, it's the level of the flip. Is it going to be, are we getting X amount from, are we going to make $80,000 or are we going to make $25,000, which I'll say we don't do a flip if we're not going to make at least 40. But it could be a more higher end flip where we're looking at making $100,000. Well, I'm putting marble in all the bathrooms.
Yeah.
And so she gave you the range, and I'm typically like below. So if she's like, this is a high end flip, I'm like, this is probably medium quality. Let's go medium, right? And then she's like, okay, this is a medium. We'll get the $50 granite. I'm like, can we just do the $20 granite? So that's our difference. We don't really argue about it.
No.
She always wins.
I was about to say, does she always win? Yeah.
There's no argument.
It's not a battle worth fighting.
It's not a battle. No, it's not at all. She just knows where I am. It's fine.
On that point, what is it like working together as husband and wife?
No, it's great. It is really.
I love it. It's wonderful. It's great.
It is great.
That's definitely making the last week on the Nicoletti Show. That reaction.
We're as opposite can be. I mean, he's wearing a gray t-shirt and I'm in vibrant colors.
If you didn't like my t-shirt, you should have said something.
Start with the t-shirt. I love it.
But we are literally as opposite. If you put everything about us on paper, you'd be like, what in the world? But it is his strengths are my weaknesses, and I hope that mine are that I compliment him the same.
Although my weaknesses are technically strengths in sheep's clothing, you know.
This is what these two get into all the time.
So,
but when it comes to like being at the houses and like working together, or like either like, hey, we got this project, we're having this meeting, like it's got to be a lot to separate things that are happening in personal life, things that are happening in the business and making the money, because those two kind of intersect. It's the bottom line coming in and working on projects so that you can accomplish this. Like that's different. I mean, you two are partners, you know, married, yes, but partners nonetheless. Yeah. And we see so many people come on the show that some are successful being partners and some that they've done the partner thing and it's not for them.
Yeah.
But when you take marriage and then work partnership, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
There's a lot more on the line. So, you know, there's there's a lot more on the line so that we have to make it work. I'm a people pleaser by nature. I'll say that. Middle child, hard conversations, the conflict. I would rather run away from it, but I can't, right? Because there's so much on the line. We can't just split up the partnership. So we actually had a conversation today, and we'll throw a shout out to couples counseling. We do use that because marriage counseling will go every 6 weeks or 2 months or something, just to have an hour of no work, no kids, no nothing, sitting, talking to someone so we could, you know, having somebody else there. So we do that for sure. But then today, we actually literally had this conversation today about the things that she says and what I hear and the things that I say and what she hears. And what the conversation today is I am task and job oriented. I don't care who does the job. I don't care who does the task. If it's for me and somebody else can do it, I'm going to say, can you do that? But it doesn't matter. Michelle is a people first person. Which is amazing, because if she was not here in this business, then no one else would want to work here. They would all hate me because they were like, you don't care about us. No, I care about the job and the task. But anyway, so she makes that go around. And so when I'm saying job this, task that, she hears, well, this person needs this person's overworked. Let's, you know, do something different. So you talk about yin and yang. We're just very different in that works for us.
But like you said, it seems like you found a way to kind of make that work too. Whether bringing external people to kind of just work it through, or just sitting down, or you know, talking it out. I mean, because to be successful, you have to know your roles. Right? As partners, you have to know your strengths and weaknesses. So no, I think that's great. I just wanted to touch on that because we can't get off the show without like addressing that. I feel like, dang, I didn't talk about that. Brittany said, thoughts on today's modern paint everything black phase. I love the black, all black. Do you aim for current styles for better flipping or marketing to millennials?
Millennials can't afford houses right now.
Tell us more.
I don't love the paint everything black. I also gasp. I don't love the paint all the exterior white. I'm over that. So no, I think there can be a balance. I'm very traditional, probably transitional in my style. I don't love modern. I don't love super traditional. I'm very much in the in between. True, but we're working hard. And I love a classic look. I love classic lines. I love mixing metals. I think it's fun to have accent walls or accent architecture, accent. I love wallpaper.
Mm.
I love putting wallpaper or a really fun tile, like a funky tile in a laundry room, because laundry can just be a monotonous thing. But I don't love just sticking to an all black or an all white scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that helps.
Hey, that's a great answer. You like different things, right? You like changing it up, mixing it up. She said, I'm trying to be accepting of mid-century modern.
And that's fun. That is a fun era. So go all in for it.
What do you recommend somebody do to really find their style? Because like maybe they don't know what style they're gonna like. You know, it's great seeing Michelle's project, this project, but everybody's gonna have their own style. So like, how do you learn what that is, and getting in that rhythm?
I think the easiest way currently is Pinterest. So I mean, go into Pinterest and search living rooms or kitchens or bathrooms. The easiest thing to do really is to start pinning things to a board. And then once you've amassed, 50 or 60 images, to really sit back and look at all of those images and figure out what are the common themes. Like what are the things that you're seeing? Like, oh, I keep pinning this same picture, or I keep pinning this same look. What is it? Is it the metals? Is it the color? What are the things that are drawing your eye to that image? And that kind of helps you figure out your style in magazines.
I would love to see AI do that for you.
Oh, no.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Don't mess with my mind.
It would be amazing.
Who knows what that would look like, right? Like,
yeah.
Can they do that? That's really great. I mean, that you can go on Pinterest and just start seeing what styles fit you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Michelle, or I don't know, maybe Andrew knows this one on the marketing end. So like, you've done your flip, or you're doing your flip. Mm-hmm. How important is it to document the beginning stage and end stage?
Super important.
Not for marketing though.
Well, separate the two, just in general. I know what you guys do it for Instagram stuff,
correct.
Right? But even for progress, or even for just like putting it out there to everybody, like documenting the whole journey.
Yeah. So we've always kind of documented, taken pictures and shared a lot of them. Not for marketing. It seems like that'd be good for marketing, like, oh, the before and after. But when you're trying to sell an expensive property, that before just sticks in their brain. We don't want them to ever think that there was ever a before. Like, this is what you get. It's brand new. Mm-hmm. But for documenting for our contractors, the lake house. Do you remember the lake house? They came and did shiplap, and then we came out one day and we're like, wait, there's supposed to be an outlet somewhere in the hall. There's no outlet in the hall. And they literally did wood shiplap right over an outlet. And we had to go back to the pictures and say, wait a second, it's somewhere in this area. Bing, they got it, cut it out. We were saved. So the whole way through pictures, we usually get our contractors to send pictures, and then we will go check before we pay them, typically. So document the whole way through and just save your pictures somewhere.
We also, we've won a few awards, and
That's
so
true.
It's really helpful to have the before, the mid, and the after, just to be able to show some of the renovations.
Michelle has won a couple of awards for her renovation.
Michelle.
Yeah, we got a couple of trophies around there.
You applied for this, or did they just like recognize what you've done, and so they were like, here's the award?
You apply through some of the builders associations, local builders associations. And so we had some really amazing renovations that we've done. And so each year we kind of pick one and submit everything. And
we've won something the last 3 years.
Fun to see if we win.
That's cool. Yeah. Put the trophies out there, right?
Well, I know. They're
showcasing them at the meetup.
That's right.
Table right in the left side for that.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Any other tips or tricks that you could think of, maybe on the marketing side, right? Like, you've done the whole rehab. Now you got to market it to get it, finding that realtor to list it, or just maybe having a videographer come in and scan the room to be able to put the best video out there?
Yeah.
What's
I'll
that
tell
like?
you, for marketing's sake, things have changed. 2 years ago, market was insane, and you didn't even have to finish your flip. You could put a sign out that says coming soon, and you would sell it that day. Now we're back to more traditional, where you don't let the cat out of the bag. You don't want anybody to see your house when it's all dirty and unfinished. Like, nobody's allowed in until it's done. You don't list it until it's completely done. You get professional photos. Sometimes staging. We're kind of sometimes staging, sometimes not. Depends on the layout of the house. But it's got to be 100% done before you get out there, and then you get good pictures and you blast it out. Social media, of course, but your whatever the MLS system is where you are is the way to go. There's no coming soon anymore. That's not good. You'll lose your first buyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having that marketing is just really important to be able to get that flip out there and promote it. I mean, you guys worked so hard on it, right?
Right.
Some people work just so hard on it and they want that flip, and then they're not getting the nibbles, right? And I feel like it comes down to their ability to make sure they have the right realtor to list it, the right marketing, the right avenues, and putting it out on the right time.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so easy because, like you said, we put so much work in this, and most of the time you get to the end of the project, you're like, oh my God, I just want to be done. Please sell it. And there's still 5% left. You know, a missing door hinge here, light bulbs out there. Like, those are the things that will kill your buyer, your sale, because your best buyer is usually the first or fifth person that comes through there. Like, the first 5 people usually is your best buyer, and your first offer is usually your best buyer. And if you didn't do 100% of the project, then you're gonna miss out on those. So hold off, wait, list it when it's ready.
And list it on Friday.
Love it.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Thursday, Friday.
Let me ask you both, market conditions right now, hot markets, cold markets. What are you seeing in South Carolina?
So we just did our meeting with the retail team, and it's great. I shouldn't say that, knock on wood, I guess. But the inventory is so low. We are still at half of the inventory we were pre-COVID. And there's people moving here. There's a migration still to the south. And so our median or average prices were going up, but now they've stopped, but they're at a really great place, which is 50% higher than 3 years ago. And so we're at a good place. We're happy with it, and it's kind of staying right there, and we'll see what interest rates do. But our market's good. If you got a good house, it's good.
Yeah. I guess anywhere, right? Columbia, Charleston, really.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Around, South Carolina, the South, people are coming here and nobody's listing houses. There's nothing for sale.
Yeah. When I was driving through, I was amazed to see just so much land. I mean, land. And I'm like, this can't all be like wetlands or environmental. Like, all this is out there, like so much to be developed. And like you're just talking about, Andrew, so many people moving there's so many people moving to Florida.
Yeah.
Moving out of Florida because they don't want to be in this, right? So they're like going to North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and they're finding opportunities there. And then you guys get into finding deals, right? Like, what you name it, right? Like some of the crazy deals that you can get out there. And I know you told me about one, that probate one with the 6 heirs, Andrew. But I mean, the deals are out there, right? Like being able to find them, whether they're pre-foreclosure or tax delinquent, or I don't know what's really a hot lead in South Carolina, but the deals are there.
Yeah, absolutely. So our Deal Finders Club that's what we talk about, is because in order to get into real estate investing and to get started, you have to find your first deal or second deal, third deal, and get your ball rolling. And so we are out there kind of teaching and showing how to find the deal in your community right now, literally just by opening your eyes, opening your ears and your mouth, and telling people what you're looking for. And if you start talking about it, sharing it with friends, family, co-workers, your neighborhood, your postman, whoever, you start talking about it, you'll be surprised at what you find literally in your own neighborhood. And so that's how you got to start. If you want to be an investor, get started with what's around you right now.
Yeah. Love it. And you got that website, right? I mean, that's your whole thing. Deal Finders.
Deal Finders Club. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get you started and get rolling, because everyone we talk about, where did you find your first deal? Oh, well, it was somebody showed it to me, or it was my uncle's house or whatever, or it was down the street, or I drove by it, whatever it is. It's right there. It's at home. It's close. It's within arm's reach. So most people haven't found that because they're not looking.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Hey, Frank said Pinterest is awesome for picking designs and themes. He said AI can do that. He actually put the links there. Midjourney or Leonardo.ai.
I have to check it out.
There you go.
Makes me nervous.
Why don't you just see? Maybe it'll be a game changer, right? I see Michelle's face of like skepticism right now.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's right there. And then all of a sudden she's going to be telling you all about it, Andrew. All excited. 3 things before we wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
First thing is, I love that reel that you guys had about taking things and more local. And you guys said, if you want to learn the real lessons, go local. And something I talked about at your event is the importance of keeping things more local. I don't know, it's a weird coincidence because it's like the importance, everybody's thinking like national, but if you want to learn everything local or go local. Talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because a lot of what we said, is when you connect with your local community, you figure out what's happening where you are, and you get a pulse on that. And that's where the deals come from. That's where you're able to connect with a realtor that you go to church with or something like that. And staying local lets you get a beat on that market that you can't really do national or virtual. And then talking about learning the lessons, people don't always put it on Facebook, the bad, right? They don't put the YouTube videos of the lessons they learn. But if you get them for coffee or you get them at the bar, they're going to let you know. They're going to tell you all the stupid things they did, or the terrible contractors, the one that ran off with all your windows, So get local, ask questions, be a sponge, be forever learner, especially if you've got an experienced investor that's in front of you. Ask them questions, offer a service like, hey, how can I help you? Most of them will be like, I'm good. And then just ask questions. You have anything?
No, she agrees. That's it. Yeah. No, it makes sense, right? Because the local community is where you do your business, where you live.
Yeah.
And this is where you're going to make your biggest connections. And these are going to be your JV partners. These are going to be your partners on deals, maybe a future partner business. So that local community, I mean, I can't say enough about Jacksonville's local community. I mean, it's huge, supportive community here in Jacksonville. And I can see how that South Carolina market has that same support. Right? It's growing, but it's got that same support. People really want to pour in. So go local. I love that. You guys aren't ready for this one. So I can see Michelle like going, oh my gosh, what's the answer? What is like the biggest hot topic that seems to be swirling around like the last week or 2 weeks in real estate? Like, what are you hearing about or seeing? Maybe it's in your market, or maybe it's like things that you're seeing in your program or students are seeing. That's like, people keep talking about it. It's like hot right now.
You know anything?
I don't know anything.
Michelle's like, I'm running the stuff here. I don't have time to listen to everybody else out there. The things that I would say that I'm listening to, AI, of course, I'm kind of waiting to see how it's going to come through. I did use ChatGPT to do my Sunday school lesson the other day I had to teach, which was amazing. But so AI is coming through. One of the big things that we are hearing is the regulations, and you might hear this too, the wholesaling regulations. So we went through all this. We pivoted our company to where we don't actually wholesale. We buy everything and retail it. So we call it wholesale. Because regulations all across the country are kind of shutting down. They're here locally, they're giving you like a cease and desist order. And if you don't follow it, you might get fined $1,000 a day or $1,000 every time you put something on Facebook. So that's probably one of the hot topics right now, and that we're not real sure where it's going. And so we continue to hear about that.
Hey, you got something right there, right?
Yeah.
If that's what's clicking and that's what you're hearing about, like, that's why I asked this question, is because sometimes we don't, some people that are in real estate are like Michelle, so focused in their daily business that they're not hearing maybe what's going on. So when somebody else is like either keeping up with the events, I'm not saying like somebody's not keeping up with the events, but yeah,
I'm not. You can say it.
She's we're okay with that.
Some
We got
are
3 kids,
right. Some are, and so like being able to hear that on the shows, like, wait a second, I'm not paying attention to what. Yeah. So that's why we get into that. So Andrew, anything is super valuable and helpful on the show when it comes to that.
He's definitely got his pulse. He's on it. So.
Yeah.
Thanks, babe.
How can everybody find you? I mean, we've been putting the chyrons up on the bottom, but like, what's the best way if anybody wants to get in touch with you? The people that listen to the show, you'll be so surprised. Like, we have listeners, of course, in Florida, but we'll have people like in Texas, Georgia, randomly. So you never know. There's people in South Carolina or people watching that on the channel that want to learn more. Maybe they get more into the Deal Finders Club or Deal Finders or rehabs. Like, how can people find you?
Insta or Facebook. Yeah.
She's on Insta the most. So dealfindersclub.com/links that's our link tree. So it's got the Insta, the Facebook, YouTube, TikTok might be on there. That's all the things.
Insta. I love it. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Insta. Insta and YouTube are big. And of course, Facebook. I mean, you gotta have Facebook, of course.
Right.
I just want to say before we wrap it up, love seeing you guys always. I love the dynamic. It's so interesting seeing, as I've gotten to know you two, just seeing the dynamic of Michelle, and then like seeing Andrew talk about things. What an interesting duo you two are.
Oh.
Yeah, and I hope
love you, Al.
Love you guys too. I hope you continue this, keep growing the group, keep doing amazing things with that group. I could see just so much potential, and especially people that are all over South Carolina that want to learn about that. That is big, big, big. So can't wait to see you soon at Family Mastermind again. That's that's going to be great. It's coming up fast. So as I do with all my guests on the Al Nicoletti Show, I do a segment right at the end called Final Words. I know this is Michelle's favorite. Final Words, Final Thoughts, which is anything that's really you're bubbling on your mind, or you're thinking about that you really want to hammer home or you really want to get across. Maybe it's something we haven't discussed. Maybe it's something we did discuss. Maybe it's a future prediction, or maybe it's something you really want to make sure the audience knows. So as I do at the end of my show, final words, final thoughts, Andrew and Michelle Lucas.
Don't be afraid.
All right.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Do the hard things.
If you haven't started, this is going to be the hardest thing you do in your life, which is begin real estate investing, stay in it, get through the doubt and distraction, and continue to be determined to get through and succeed. So don't be afraid and do the hard things. What's that? Yeah. What's the verse?
Do the work.
Do the work. That's it.
Do the work.
Great advice. Don't be afraid and jump right into it.
Yeah. Yep. Cannonball in the deep end.
That's it.
Go.
Going into the fire. That's the best way we learn. You two are amazing. Keep in touch. Love it. People are going to listen to the episode, and I'll be seeing you soon.
Yes. We love you, Al.
Love you too.
Thanks, everybody.
You take care.
See ya.
All right, everybody. If you missed any of that episode with Andrew and Michelle Lucas, make sure you go back, check that out on the Al Nicoletti YouTube channel, the Facebook No way. No way. No way. It says you're still in. Don't see you. Say no way. Oh, it says I'm on. She said I'm on. Taylor said I'm on. Is it? Maybe you are. Maybe I should refresh. All right, so if everybody can see me, I don't know what this is. I don't get it. It's okay. Everybody's watching. So sorry for the ending. What happened is, as soon as we ended the episode with Michelle and Andrew, literally the lights just flickered in the studio and the internet went out. And I don't even know if it's still working. But I just want to say to everybody that was watching, we love the fans that watch the show. If you missed any of this, not only the guests make the show, the fans and the followers that are always watching, thank you for dropping comments. It helps keep the show engagement up. It helps keep things rolling. And it's amazing seeing that happen. And if you missed any of the episode, go back. Make sure you check it out on the Al Nicoletti YouTube channel, the Facebook page, the business page, the personal page, iTunes, Spotify, Instagram, the whole works. Don't miss it. And we will be live next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. We'll see you there. Have a great night, everybody. Take care.